Yes, and the undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proudly present to you our featured bout. It is sanctioned by the Florida State Athletic Commission. Chairman is Eric Riley, matchmaker is Tom Brown, and the 3 judges assigned, scoring on a 10-point must system are Peter Trematera, Rick Bays, and Mark Streisand. When the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action will be Jorge Alonso. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our main event. 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting to my left out of the red corner, he's wearing red trunks with black trim and weighed in at 232 pounds. Coming to us from Safety Harbor, Florida, he has a professional record of 42 wins, 7 losses, with 39 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alex the Destroyer Stewart. And his opponent, fighting directly across from him out of the blue corner, tonight he's wearing black trunks with gold trim and weighed in at 226 pounds. Hailing from Miami, Florida, he has a professional record of 40 wins, 6 losses, with 37 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Phil Jackson. Once again, your referee in charge, Jorge Alonso, now to give the instructions.
Go ahead, 2 seconds, I give him. Go ahead, 2 seconds, Billy. Yeah. 2 seconds, right? All right, gentlemen, you received the instructions earlier, okay? I'm going to demand a clean fight. Obey my commands, protect yourself. Watch your low blows. When I say break, step back, no punches. No punches after the bell. Any questions here? Any questions here? Touch gloves. Touch gloves. Let's go.
Now, this should be interesting. A lot of similarities between these two fighters. Phil Jackson fought for the heavyweight championship of the world against Lennox Lewis, was stopped in '94 by Lewis in 8 rounds. That was the big night of his career. Ironically, Alex Stewart has fought a lot of world heavyweight champions. He fought Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Michael Moore, and George Foreman, but he fought them all when they weren't holding the title. So none of those fights were world championship shots for Stewart. So he is still awaiting a world title bout if he ever gets one in his career. Both these guys have had big, heavy hands throughout their career. Jackson has scored 37 KOs in 40 fights. Stewart, in the red trunks, 39 KOs in his 42 wins.
In 25 in the first 3 rounds, he is a very fast starter. Surprising to see that Phil Jackson has 22 KOs in the first 3 rounds. Phil Jackson says in the ring, I'm a boxer puncher. His best punch, he says, the right hand. Alex Stewart says his best punch is the left hook. He also says he's a boxer puncher. Phil Jackson walked into the Police Athletic League gym in Miami. He was 20 years old and he started boxing. He went about 65 times in the non-paid ranks before turning professional. And he did that back in December of 1988.
And Jackson claims he's still a hungry fighter. How could he still be a hungry fighter? Well, he's got 8 kids, 4 sons, 4 daughters. That's a lot of mouths to feed. And he's trying to make some money, and he's trying to make some big money, which he possibly could get if he could get a big victory here and then perhaps take on one of the young guns or one of the ranked heavyweights in a bout that would be even more meaningful. But this is certainly a very meaningful bout for these 2 guys tonight.
Yeah, it's they are standing at the last chance saloon. Jackson says, now I know how important it is for me to win. He says the shape, conditioning is vital. He says I'm running more, I'm more focused on my career. We knew Alex Stewart coming into this. I think everyone in boxing does. He says he's a dangerous fighter. I have great respect for Stewart. He says he's in my way, though, my way to ascending to the top of the heavyweight picture. The fight plan for Jackson was to go to the body early. Whoa, that went in the body.
Jackson, first big punch of the fight. Stewart felt that one and backpedals immediately. Stewart knows he got a little buzzed by that one, and he stepped back to try to collect himself, and Jackson trying to go to work. Still a half minute to go in round 1. Still time for Jackson if he could land the right combination, and that was a very good left hook that he dug in hard to the body of Stewart.
And a good right hand. He can't wait, though. Stewart is hurt right now. Jackson Still trying to pace himself. Trying to figure out what kind of arsenal Stewart's going to bring. There's that left hook from Stewart. Alex Stewart better get busy throwing punches or this fight's going to be over. He's going to be knocked out.
We come to the end of round 1.
Today, people who didn't send the money Western Union and the heartbreak it caused. You say your dog called?
Yeah, said he needed tuition money for obedience school.
That's amazing.
No, he's always asking for money for something. Prima donna.
What did you do?
I sent it.
But not Western Union.
No, they never treated me special.
So it never got there?
No, but that's not the worst part.
It's not?
No, now he turned the cat against me.
Hey, it's your money. Use Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
I heard a commercial about this program called Hooked on Phonics. And I said, I think, maybe we should try this. Within a matter of weeks, really weeks, I would say within 3 weeks, you could see a significant difference.
It was absolutely the key we needed, period.
It was.
That's all.
It was the tool we were looking for. And her teacher was happy. We were happy. Katie was happy. Katie wanted to read.
Hooked on Phonics comes with a 90-day guarantee. Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.
Using the first round as a testing round. Here is that right hand. Phil Jackson landed that high on the head, kind of on the temple of Alex Stewart. In fact, he hurt him so bad that at the end of the round, when the bell rang, Alex Stewart went back to Phil Jackson's corner. There's been a few times in my career when I was hurt so bad that I wanted to go to the other corner. I didn't take a beating. I didn't want to go back to my own corner. But Alex Stewart, when you know you are hurt, but you don't go down, you're stunned, you are disoriented in the ring. Not quite sure what direction you're heading.
Now that was certainly a telltale sign, but I think you could tell even in that round as Stewart lands his own right hand now that he was shaken up by that punch. He stepped back and he moved away and he tried to gather himself before the end of the round. But that he kind of looked like a veteran who knew he was buzzed a little bit, and he did a good job.
Yeah, he was definitely floating at the end of that first round.
Stewart, born in London, lived there at an early age, went as a teenager to Jamaica, lived there for 5 years, was involved in all kinds of sports, Alex Stewart. In fact, his favorite was rugby. He was a big, quite a rugby player in Jamaica, and played for the Jamaican national team at one point, but then got involved in boxing, did very well there, and turned professional, and obviously has done very well as a pro.
Well, his father was a cricket player and took him to the cricket grounds where he set him up with another fighter. Alex did well with the other fighter, decided to start boxing. He had about 10 amateur fights before moving to Jamaica. He went 44-6 as an amateur, Alex did, before turning pro back in September of 1988.
His greatest night in boxing probably was in a losing effort to George Foreman. I'm talking about Alex Stewart here. He just fought a terrific fight against Foreman. He went down twice in the first round. He appeared as though he was going to be finished off and won by Foreman, but somehow he came back, and by the fight's end, it was all Alex Stewart, and as he lands a leaping right hand there, and he really lumped Foreman's face into a distorted, unrecognizable gargoyle.
Really a big night for him. Back in 1992, April of that year, he said he started out wrong. He thought he could KO Foreman. Here is Stewart trying to KO Phil Jackson. Good left hook from Stewart. Jackson about to lose his trunks.
And there was a little left hook inside by Jackson, though, that forced Stewart to just, for a second, stop the assault.
Oh, good right hand from Stewart.
Now, the referee is going to have to pick those trunks up, or else we're going to have an X-rated boxing show here before too long.
Oh, how effective a jab would be from both fighters. Alex Stewart knows how to jab. He knows the importance of a left jab.
Good bounce back round for Alex Stewart here.
Yeah.
After a big first round for Phil Jackson, here in the second, it was Stewart who came back.
Stewart needed that round. They need to work on the trunks of Phil Jackson.
Every night at 10 on Fox Sports Net, it's Fox Sports News Prime Time. All the scores, all the highlights, and all the breaking stories. Covering your hometown teams 7 nights a week, we are there. Fox Sports News Prime Time every night at 10. Check your local listings. There's Phil Jackson getting beaten up by his cornerman as well as Alex Stewart that last round.
Carlos Bonami, here is a look at some of that action. Look at these combinations from Stewart. This is what hurt Phil Jackson, and that is what won the round for Alex Stewart. He almost knocked the trunks down of Jackson. Keep those up. You know, they need to tape those. Well, they're doing it right now, taping up those trunks. Alex Stewart trying to pick it up where he left it off in that second round.
And they're taking a little extra time there in the corner so he can tape up those trunks. Jorge Alonso called time momentarily, and here we go, round 3. One thing I liked about this, I thought this was a great matchup made by matchmaker Tom Brown. This was really one coming in that nobody seemed to know who was going to win this fight, Sean.
Yeah, really an outstanding matchup. Two fighters who have been to the top and been to the bottom of boxing, and they both are trying to give it their all tonight because they know the significance of a win in this fight. You know, a win tonight would put one of these fighters right back into the mix. This heavyweight division 2, you're only as good as your last performance. That's why both of them fighting in this match, putting their heart and souls into it.
Alex Stewart in much better condition than he was on June the 12th when he scored an 8-round decision over Abdulaziz Mohamed. An abysmal showing that night, even though he won, but he was out of shape. He weighed 247 that night, and he really brought himself down for this one. Got in good shape.
Looked atrocious that night. He said, I took the fight on 2 days' notice. Says I was a bit out of shape. 3 of my fights fell out. He says, he admits his biggest struggle has been with himself. If he can just remain focused and remain concentrated upstairs at what business at hand. He's a terrific fighter. He's got some great skills. Says that he knows a lot about Phil Jackson. He has a sneaky right hand, and even knowing that, he still got hit with it back in the second round. He says a good puncher, and he's durable. His fight plan tonight for Stewart was to back up Jackson. Jackson doing a nice job of stepping around. Jackson said tonight he was going to try to go to the body of Stewart and throw the right hand upstairs.
Alex Stewart coming back nicely from that dazing that he got in the first round from the right hand of Jackson, trying to land some power shots of his own. We saw him, as we talked about, get really brutalized in round 1 against George Foreman. I asked him what kept him going in that fight, and he just said it was hard. He said, I'm a warrior. He goes, look, I'm going to give it all I've got. I want the fans to know that, and I want them to feel that. And he's already shown that here again tonight. You won't see Alex Stewart just laying down. Good job defensively by Stewart there to get away from that right by Jackson. And Jackson looks as though now he has a healthy respect for Stewart's punch.
Yeah, well, once you get hit from your opponent, you have a definite, quick, healthy respect for your opponent. Never been hit with an easy punch. They all hurt. Oh, jab, jab, jab. When you don't know what to do, jab. It keeps your opponent busy, keeps something in his face, it blocks his vision, and then you can land your hard shots. You set them up with a jab, they think they're going to get easy jab punches. That's when you bring in the big power.
Duke, get down. It's my chair. Let's go. I'm not playing games.
Okay, here we go again.
Oh, Duke.
Outside.
Hey, those dog obedience classes really paid off.
This is the steering wheel of a dragster. It is used for going straight. This is the steering wheel of a stock car. It goes left. And this is the steering wheel of a Formula One racing car. It goes right, straight, adjusts the foil, the pit radio, has 2 controls for the clutch, multiple gear shifts, oh, and of course, goes left. For state-of-the-art speed, it's Formula One.
Catch the Austrian Grand Prix, Sunday at 7:30 on Fox Sports Southwest.
This is round 4, scheduled for 10. Heavyweights in action.
Oh, there it is again.
Jackson, down goes Stewart in the opening seconds of the 4th round. A hard right by Jackson. Stewart taking the mandatory 8 count, and you can expect that he'll get up, which he does. He actually stayed down till 9 that time.
just what Phil Jackson said he was going to do. He's going to bring in the right hand. Now he has to set that right hand up again. Now Alex Stewart knows the right hand is coming. There's the left hook.
And he's down again for the second time in the round. A tape hanging off of the trunks of Phil Jackson. Stewart looking right at the referee. He'll probably try to get himself back in here. Remember, he was down twice against Foreman and came back and lasted the distance. But here comes Jackson, a heavy-handed sword himself, to try to finish off Alex Stewart if he can. Phil Jackson with 4 of his 8 children in the stands here tonight watching him and cheering for their dad. But Alex Stewart, who also lives in Florida with a wife and a youngster of his own, trying to fight back so that he can continue on. Hard right by Jackson. These two are throwing bombs. They're bringing him from down home, Sean.
Yeah, they know that they need to be throwing bombs, too. Alex Stewart knows he's been on the canvas twice. He knows he can't go down again, and he has to do something to beat Phil Jackson off of him. Jackson has big power in that right hand. Alex Stewart cannot get hit with that right again. He's got to carry that left hand up high. Look how high his hands are now. He knows this is an experienced veteran. 49 professional fights for Alex Stewart,
and yet
46 for Phil Jackson.
And yet it is Stewart who is pushing back Jackson, who may be trying to lure Stewart into a mistake so he can throw that right again.
Yeah, you know, what you want to do is get your opponent rushing at you. Make him come in and take your power. There's what Phil's doing. He's playing possum. Come on in here. Alex, I want to show you my right hand and show you the lights.
Alex Stewart down twice in this round, trying not to go down another time because that would end this fight. Phil Jackson shuffling forward, trying to find that right hand once again that has put Stewart down here. Stewart trying to answer with his own left jab.
Yeah, but he's giving Stewart too much time. Stewart's able to recuperate. Jackson has to hit him and hit him often. You're not going to put a good fighter like Alex Stewart out with just one punch. Yeah, you might knock him down. You might knock him down twice, but you're not going to knock him out with just one shot. You got to put the combinations together. If you Phil Jackson, you start from the body and then work your way to the head. One of the few clinches in this heavyweight fight.
And referee Jorge Alonso steps between the two, and there were no punches thrown after that clinch. Stewart again walks to the wrong corner.
Again, you are disoriented when you get knocked out and you don't go down. Here is why
to Stewart in the corner.
And this is why Alex Stewart is going to the wrong corners. Watch this. Crack! And left leg goes numb. Down to the canvas he goes. But Stewart gets up a little bit later in the round. Running in, he catches this left hook, which also puts him to the seat of his pants. Just did everything he could to stay up the rest of the round, knowing that Alex Stewart had been on the canvas twice in that round. Big concentration. This is his career, and he knows a lot of emotion going on in the head of Alex Stewart. Listening to Tommy Gallagher.
I thought referee Jorge Alonso was a little slow reacting to that first knockdown. That right hand put Stewart down to one knee, and Jackson landed 2 punches after that, and he tries to come right out and do the same kind of thing at the start of this round.
Yeah, you got to pick it up where you left it off. He still may be reeling from those knockdowns in the 4th round.
That first knockdown was scored in the first 10 seconds of round number 4. Here in the 5th, Jackson tried to come out and catch Stewart by surprise once again. This is a heavyweight 10-rounder here in Miami. Rich Murata, Sean O'Grady ringside as Barry Tompkins takes the night off. And we're watching heavyweights Alex Stewart in the red trunks and Phil Jackson, who scored 2 knockdowns in round 4 in the black.
2 knockdowns in round 4 and a staggering blow back in the first round from Jackson. He has power in that right hand. You know, that's what they've seen about Phil Jackson, that they really like him as a fighter. He's a terrific puncher. He's a big heavyweight. He has good size. He has good all-around skills. But when he moves up in class, he's just unable to deliver that right hand the way that he can in fights when he's in there, when he is the favorite. They want him to be able to pull that heavy lumber out in these big matches.
I tell you, I really feel for guys, boxers at this age, 34 years of age, because I think they know what their situation is, Sean. They know the time is short, and they know that they've got to win. And they know that a loss would be devastating in this kind of a fight.
Well, they're all in a hurry at this age, too. You know, athletes usually mature about 28, 27, 29, somewhere around there. Everybody's different, but that's about the average. And people, once you hit 30, they start talking about you're being over the hill. And that's what I hear from people who are 30 and over and haven't made it yet.
At 20, they started saying that about me, wasn't it?
It was 24. My career was over. But yeah, when you start hearing those whispers and those rumors, you really start thinking, I wonder if it's really that way. I wonder if I am slowing. You know, Stewart looks tonight like he's just a step behind. He's just not quite there. With Phil Jackson looks a little bit fresher, a little bit more focused, a little bit more intent. Jackson looks good tonight. You know, Jackson recently changed management, and you wonder about the veracity of fighters doing that. Why change management? But he says it rejuvenated his career.